Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar brought to you by iSQI. We are here in Potsdam, Germany, in the headquarters of iSQI, the International Software Quality Institute. We have offices in the UK, the Netherlands, the US, and also many local offices. By the way, my name is Agustina. I'm Key Account Manager here in iSQI. iSQI is a leading global exam provider for ISTQB and many other schemes. We provide examinations and certifications. You can take the exams with us on paper, computer-based, and also in a test center. And today I have with me a very special guest who came straight from the US. Well, he did kind of a European tour. So I will introduce you to Rex Black. Rex Black is the president of RBCS, a leading international as a test consulting, training, and expert services company that has more than 25 years. He was the ISTQB president from 2005 until 2009. He is currently the chair of the ISTQB Agile working group. I will show you the slides. Sorry, I forgot I have the slides. He was or is the project manager, technical editor for the 2018 foundation level syllabus that we are going to talk about today. And he has been author of 14 books and dozens of other articles of testing. I'm sure everyone knows who he is or has read something about it. If you're in testing, you cannot miss him. A little bit also about ISTQB. ISTQB has done more than 785,000 exams and delivered more than 570,000 certificates. ISTQB has more than 60 member boards around the globe that represent the different testing communities, whether it's a country or a region. So you can actually reach to them in your region if you have any questions. And well, it's a recognized certification for any employer globally. Today, after this introduction, Rex is going to talk about ISTQB and the new ISTQB 2018 syllabus. And after he delivers his presentation, we will open the room for questions if you have.
Yes.
So here is Rex with me, and I will.
Everybody?
Yes.
Good.
Oops. Yes.
There we go. Okay, afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Agustina, for the kind introduction. So we'll talk about the Foundation 2018 syllabus here shortly. First, just a little background on the foundation level as a whole. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen here a roadmap, if you will, the path. And as you can see from the bottom of the map, all things start at the ISTQB Foundation level. So from that point, you have a number of paths forward in your career as a professional tester. The foundation level is meant to provide the starting skills that you need to progress along that path, whether you choose to go laterally into specialist and agile tracks or vertically up into the advanced and the expert tracks. Now, there will be a transition period, so for those of you who are panicking and thinking, oh my God, the 2018 syllabus is out, that means 2011 is kaput, as they would say here in Germany. No, 2011 exams and training are still available. There will be a sunset period for that, so it's a reasonable amount of time. If you're thinking, oh no, I have a 2011 foundation certificate already, does that mean that it's useless to me? Nope, they remain valid for life. The foundation certificates and the advanced certificates never expire. The 2011 foundation certificate will be valid as a prerequisite for any ISTQB modules that you want to take in the future, so you don't have to worry about, is this release going to derail my career path? So for those of you who are scheduled for training or scheduled for exams under the 2011 syllabus, don't worry, proceed according to plan. You might want to read the new 2018 syllabus after you finish your training and finish your exam, just to be familiar with the material in there, because it's so great, if I could say so myself. But it's not something that's going to be an obstacle. This release is not going to be an obstacle to your current plans. Okay, so hopefully now everybody is relaxed. All relaxed? Good. So the update. Why did we do the update? Well, I wouldn't describe the 2011 syllabus as tired, but it definitely was in need of an update. Usually the ISTQB program tries to have updates every 5 years. So, 2011, you'd say, okay, well, that should have been 2016. But actually, it should probably have been more like 2015, because the 2011 syllabus release was just an update to fix some formatting problems to the 2010 version. So it definitely needed some updates, and it really needed to be brought up to sort of modern development and modern software maintenance and software technologies, brought up to date with those, because there wasn't really good discussion about things like Agile. There was some mention of it before, but not a whole lot. Agile, Internet of Things, DevOps, continuous deployment. So we wanted to make it more modern throughout, and that was one of the things that we were looking to do, and that we did. Also, making sure that practical aspects were emphasized. So, what do you do with these concepts? How do you put these concepts into action? So there's a lot of explanatory text, for example, added with respect to the test design techniques, which were there before the learning objectives, but the explanation was a little thin. So the new syllabus definitely is hip to any kind of development method that you're using. It's aware of and aligned with DevOps and Agile, Kanban, continuous deployment. Whatever is going on now, we've brought it up to date. Now, if you are in an Agile environment and you take the Foundation 2018 and you say, that's great, but I need some more Agile specific knowledge, then the Agile tester track is there for you. You've got the Agile Foundation, and we're also going to be following that up with additional qualifications. So that path remains. And again, the specialist paths are also there. And 2018 Foundation will be the key to get you into those subsequent steps. It's a prerequisite for the other ISTQB modules, so that of course remains the case. Now, something else to mention is that if you're looking at some of the other syllabi, and the syllabus is referencing the 2011 Foundation. So let's say you're looking at the Advanced Test Manager and it's referencing the 2011 Foundation syllabus. The reference would transfer directly to the 2018 content. But basically, the same concepts and the same topics are covered in the 2018 syllabus. It's more streamlined, and the presentation is more not just modernized, but also tightened up. We added detail in some places, but in a lot of places we compressed. We removed redundancy. We really made it a more streamlined, as I said, more sporty kind of version, if you will, whereas the old 2011 text was kind of clunkier. So our focus, of course, is the testers. It's a foundation for software testing. But one of the things that we're seeing happen in the software development, software maintenance, is that testing is spreading out, and testing is getting integrated into development and delivery pipelines of various kinds. So more and more people need to have an understanding of testing fundamentals, and this new syllabus is a great place to start because, as I said, it's well aligned with all modern development methods and modern technologies. So a little bit about the process. Now, a famous German, I believe it was Bismarck, said that those who respect the law and enjoy eating sausage should never watch either being made. So I don't want to dwell on the process of making the foundation level 2018 sausage too much, but a little bit about the process you may find interesting. We had a working group composed of volunteers with a chair and a vice chair, and I was brought in January as the project manager to drive the project to success. When I was brought in, I had very loudly made statements to people that I absolutely would promise that we would have it done and ready in May. And so once I was brought in, of course, I was then required to make those words come true, or as we would say in the United States, eat those words. And I'm not a big fan of eating my words. So here we are. And it was done in May. Along the way, we went through multiple alpha reviews, or 2 alpha reviews, a cross review and a beta review. And we have more than 5,500 comments received from more than 140 reviewers. Now, I've been involved in 10 plus syllabus development and update projects, and I've never seen anything like it. That's 2 to 3 times more comments and reviewers than we've ever had. So that was a really fantastic response and feedback from our stakeholders, not just internal stakeholders, but the beta review also had people outside of the ISTQB program, such as accredited training providers and partners. So we got some really great feedback. We did apply a timing process to the syllabus for the first time ever. Previously, the time had been assigned pretty much arbitrarily going back to the 2005 version. So we actually used a learning objective formula that we've used with other syllabi to adjust the timing. So we fixed the timing, so that's more accurate. Cross review. The cross review is really one of the most valuable parts of the whole process from my perspective. The feedback that we gained out of that was really fantastic, and it ensured good alignment with the glossary and with all of the other syllabi. So we're now very comfortable that we're talking consistently in the Foundation 2018 syllabus with respect to the glossary, with respect to the other syllabi. So having completed the package and completed the vote in May, the official release date is 4th of June. And you have a syllabus, of course. You've got an overview that's going to be useful to training providers to be able to see the traceability between the business outcomes and learning objectives. Have 2 sample exams with a 3rd coming, so that's great because usually there's just 1, but now we're going to have 3. Exam structure and rules is there. We have a set of release notes that will again be very helpful to training providers to help them understand how to build their courses or update their existing courses. We have rules for accreditation, same as always, as well as highlighting of the glossary terms, which are present in the foundation syllabus. Still to be done, of course, is localization. So there will be localization will happen here in Germany. The German board will be involved in localizing. A number of the other European boards and international boards will do localizations as well. Excuse me. So this gives you a breakdown of the new foundation level, and if you're familiar with the 2011 version, you'll be able to look at it and say, oh yeah, that is a little streamlined. So the static testing chapter, for example, was streamlined down to 2 sections from 3. But even though it's streamlined, that doesn't mean there's less. In fact, we now have a K3 learning objective associated with the review process. So attendees of training courses actually get to work through a review. Now, some training providers like RBCS, we had always had an exercise for reviews because we always felt that was very important, but that's now going to be mandatory for the training by virtue of the K3 learning objective. Test techniques is tightened up. The material that was in Chapter 4 having to do with the test process has been moved into the section in Chapter 1 on the test process, and the test process section has been heavily rewritten, again, to make it less prescriptive and better aligned with the modern technologies and modern development methods. So some major changes there. Also a lot of streamlining in Chapter 5 for similar reasons. Chapter 2, also significant updates, software development lifecycle models, again, bringing that up to date with modern technologies. Test levels and test types, I think we do a much better job of explaining that now, so that's greatly improved. So really, I think that if you take a look at the new syllabus and give it a read, you'll be really very impressed with the quality of the material and the way it's presented. I think the presentation of the material, even though the topics are very much the same, the presentation is much better. As I said, the overlaps between different sections and sort of the flabbiness in general of the 2011 syllabus have been trimmed away. And this will help certificate candidates, but it will also help training providers. The exam remains unchanged. It's 40 questions, 65% pass rate, 60 minutes. So you get extra 25% or 15 minutes if you speak a language other than the language of the exam. So in other words, if you're taking an English language exam here in Germany, you get an extra 15 minutes. So don't worry, the exam has not gotten longer and harder to pass. We were careful during the process to make sure that we aligned exam difficulty with the current exams. I would not expect that there will be a dramatic decrease in pass rates or change in pass rates either, better or worse. So as I said, the specific changes, some of these I mentioned, this more up-to-date, shift left, Agile, DevOps, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment, those sort of things are all touched on, and how testing fits in with respect to those methods. The reference standards, the existing syllabus was pretty out of date in terms of reference standards. So if standards are important to you, you'll be happy to see that we now have the ISO 25010 standard for quality characteristics, the ISO 29119 standard rather than the old obsolete 829 standard and so forth. So that effort took place, alignment with the new standards. As I said, alignment internally. The internal contradictions in the 2011 syllabus have been removed. Cross-syllabus contradictions have been resolved. Contradictions with the glossary have been resolved. This is, in my opinion, the most consistent syllabus ever produced with respect to all of the other ISTQB intellectual properties. The test process section, as I said, is now less prescriptive and a better fit for the new development methods and life cycles. The ways that test levels and test types are explained is much more clear, and the relationship between levels and types is much more clear. As I said, Chapter 3, the static testing chapter, is streamlined, while at the same time being made more practical through the addition of a K3 learning objective. Black box and experience-based test design techniques are better explained. There's more detail there, so though we did streamline in some areas, we also added detail where we felt the detail was lacking. Our white box coverage is now a better fit with people involved in testing and involved in how fitting testing into things like delivery pipelines and so forth, because our emphasis is on understanding code coverage technique or code coverage concepts rather than reading code and trying to figure out how to make sense of code, which is not always a good fit for everybody. And just overall and throughout, the learning objectives and the text were heavily edited, especially the text. The material is much more clearly presented, and it'll be easier to create good exams against it. And speaking of exams, ISTQB has already released a new exam against this. So as I understand it, that process of developing the exam went very smoothly. And so it was good to see that come out. It came out earlier this week, I believe, and the reports that I've gotten back from ISTQB have been that it's been a very positive experience developing the exam. So Some important dates here worth mentioning. Speaking of exams, 2011 and 2018 exams are available from ISTQB at this point in both English and Spanish.
Actually, yes, Spanish will be released tomorrow.
Oh, Spanish is mañana.
Yeah, mañana.
Mañana, real mañana.
Real mañana.
Not like Mexico mañana, which
no,
is
like, German mañana.
German mañana, actual mañana. We, RBCS, have, we're about to start updating our course. We always follow the rule of not updating unless, of course, the underlying syllabus has been released to all the other training providers. It used to be that the syllabi were released during beta to all the training providers, but now they're not. So we waited until now, and now we're updating our course. But because our course has always been very practical, very hands-on, and very thorough, we expect the update to go very smoothly. It will be completed by the end of June, and so we are ready to schedule 2018 classes starting in July.
Do you have any idea which cities you're going to be offering this?
We are still working on a schedule. I believe that you and Laurel are in conversations about that. So we'll be trying to offer in as many cities as we can in North America. For sure.
Okay. Yeah. We will post it on our social networks.
Great. Yeah. We want to push forward with that very actively and get that out there. So you see here the sunset dates. You have the sunset dates for the English 2011 syllabus exams and training. It's got all the way until 3rd June 2019, so a whole year there. And then for non-English, 3rd December 2019. So if you're already committed to the 2011, as I said, don't worry, you're good. But if you're not committed to the 2011 syllabus and you want to start thinking about 2018, definitely it's ready to go. And both from an exam and a syllabus point of view, and training coming shortly. So, definitely start making plans. Okay. So Agustina, I think this is
yes. I can take over right now. Yeah. Yes. First of all, I want to thank you, Rex, for being so kind of being here and explaining everything to us.
Thank you.
I know many of you might be, as Rex said, panicking about this. No worries. I mean, don't panic. If you took the 2011, it's not gonna run out of date. It's still valid for a lifetime. If you have already scheduled the exam for the 2011 exam, you can still do it. Also, I mean, of course, if you want to start studying for the 2018 and book the 2018 exam, be sure to actually book the 2018 exam. There will be a difference once you're booking the exams, and make sure that you're booking the 2018 exam. So we're going to leave here some contacts if you want to contact us at iSQI, RBCS, and all the resources for the syllabus and all the information. It's already available on our websites. And so if you have any question, please let us know. We will be here. Right now, I don't have any question. Let me see. I'll turn off the camera. We don't have any questions.
Push that right there.
Yeah.
Undock it. Yeah. No, not yet.
Not yet. So
I guess maybe one of the things that people might be wondering about is, given the other syllabi are aligned currently, what exactly does that mean? Like, might there still be some places where you notice something, say an advanced syllabus, that's a little different than what it says in the Foundation 2018 syllabus? Yes, of course, that is the case. That we couldn't change the advanced syllabi to align them with the Foundation syllabus, since the Foundation syllabus was the thing changing. Yeah. But if you do notice, if anybody does notice inconsistencies between the Foundation 2018 syllabus and the other syllabi that are out there, I've already coordinated with the other syllabus chairs, and all of those will be resolved in the subsequent versions of the advanced syllabi, and they will be aligned with what it says in the Foundation.
But for example, people can contact their local boards if they have any question or concerns.
If they have concerns, yeah, if they have concerns, they can. But people should be, comfortable that work on the consistency and the alignment's been very carefully done, and any issues that they might happen to notice in terms of differences between what it says in the Foundation 2018 and what it says, say, in Advanced Test Manager, those are all going to be resolved in subsequent versions of the advanced syllabi.
And after this update, what are the next steps for the ISTQB? What is something that we can say? Are there going to be more updates on the advanced levels that are going to be changed? Is there something that you can tell us?
So the advanced levels are going to be updated as well. And again, part of that will be alignment with the new Foundation 2018 syllabus. And there are, of course, other things in the roadmap that are being worked on, including something that the Agile working group is involved with, which is really exciting, but I can't talk about it because it's under non-disclosure. But
okay, but a lot of people are asking for the advanced levels of the Agile stream. We know it's in the pipeline there. We know it says in development, but people want dates, want to see when it's coming. I know there's not much you can say, but
things are happening. Stay tuned. As soon as I'm able to say something publicly, I'll be happy to say it. You know me, I'm not quiet.
That's good to hear. Okay, some questions are coming. From Samer Desuki, hello. Is K2 does require an example 2 while accreditation?
Yes.
Yes, I think
yes. That rule has been in place for quite some time, at least since the I think in 2007, 2008 versions of the advanced syllabus, there was actually part of the accreditation process was every K2 learning objective has to have K2 or above learning objective has to have an example provided in the training, and every K3 and above has to have an exercise and an example, and that example has to be a realistic example drawn from the computer industry. And the exercises as well need to be realistic, drawn from the computer industry. So, for example, you can't use some example, completely non-computer related example, like from a fast food restaurant or something, to illustrate the idea. The point being that the more realistic we can make the training, in terms of the examples given and the exercises given, the more easily people will be able to translate these ideas into their day-to-day work.
So all these examples, they have been updated, or most of them?
Well, no, the examples, they
will be updated on the training.
The people producing accredited training will need to be able to produce these examples. Now, in terms of updates, the training providers can use whatever examples they want, going back to, if they want, the computers from the 1940s that were used to make, do ballistic table calculations in World War II. And there may be something relevant in there that people would want to look at. But I would expect that most of the time, training providers will want to look at things that are more recent,
up to date
types of examples.
New trends. Okay, great. Summer is also asking about examples for white box techniques, if they will be provided. Well, that is also is K2 or K3?
No. So I think it's important. Well, Samir, I mean, it depends on if Samir is asking the question from the perspective of an accredited training provider who's asking where are these examples coming from, or from the point of view of the attendee. So let's start with the point of view of the attendee. Yes, if you are a course attendee, you're taking an accredited training from an accredited training provider, you should expect that training will include an example for every K2 learning objective and an example for every K3 learning objective. And to me, part of the value of the course is those examples, because they're used to illustrate points. Every K3 learning objective, you should find that there's an exercise, and that's also a big part of the value of a good training course, is that they give you good experience applying the ideas that you'll actually be able to take home to your day-to-day work. Now, if you are an accredited training provider, part of what you have to do to produce accredited training for the 2018 syllabus is to provide examples for every K2 and K3 learning objective, and also to create quality exercises for every K3 learning objective. As I said, that's nothing new. That's a rule that's been around for closing in on 10 years now. So, but you know, Samir, one of the ways that you should judge training providers, you should ask them very carefully about what kind of examples can I expect to see in the training, and what kind of exercises am I going to be working on? Help me understand the exercise, because as I said, the closer those examples and exercises are to your day-to-day life, the easier it'll be for you to take that and put it to work.
Okay, great. Thank you. Great answer. And Samir is also asking about the mobile tester. When will we know something?
I really can't. I can't answer that question, Summer. I'm not on the ISTQB. I'm a free agent at this point, working with ISTQB on various projects. But I think you'd want to maybe address that question to somebody in the ISTQB.
Yeah. Okay, great. Martin de Bourbois asked us, is there comprehensive data sheet about differences between 2011 and 2018?
Okay, so good and interesting question there, Martin. So I had somebody ask me, "Hey, can I get a change tracked version of a Word document that's, change tracking the 2018 version against 2011?" And I said, "Well, I could send you that, but it wouldn't be very helpful to you." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because basically what it would show you is that pretty much every word in the body of the syllabus has changed." Yeah. Okay. So Martin, what you need to focus on is the release notes, because the release notes are going to tell you about changes to the learning objectives and how to understand them. And that where you'll see is that the learning objectives are much closer, 2011 to 2018. There's some minor text changes to the learning objectives to make them more understandable and easier to develop exam questions against. But for the most part, there's a lot of continuity there. There's redundancy that's been eliminated from the learning objectives, so that's been cut out. But what I would say is, go and look at that release notes document in comparison of the yellows from 2011 to 2018, and that's really the better way to get the answer. Okay, great. Also questions about updates. Will there be a new version of the book Foundation of Software Testing? Well, as one of the authors of that, I can definitely answer that question, and the answer is definitely yes. Yes.
Are you already working on it?
Well, again, we can't start work on those things until the syllabus is officially released, but now with the syllabus officially released, I've been in discussions with my co-authors about that, and Dorothy Graham will be leading the effort. There's three of us, and each time there's a new syllabus release, we circulate the honor, if you will, the job, the chore of updating the book, and it's Dot's turn, Dorothy's turn, so she will be updating it, and Eric Van Veenendaal and I will be assisting as reviewers.
Okay, great. And I think we're all waiting for that book to come out. And
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Yeah,
of course. I mean, it's a great tool for anyone who's on testing, who wants to learn more about the foundations of testing. And also a question, all this question about updates for ISTQB, you need to know there are some things that as Rex said, he has signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. So until something is been officially released by the ISTQB, it's not something that can be said. They're asking about the Agile extension or advance. Is it coming soon? As we said, we don't know. He is the chair of the Agile working group. So he said he's working on it. We still don't know when it will be out. And we are working on it. And Martin said that so Eric van Veenendaal answered her or him. So next year the book will be there. So
I think that's a realistic expectation. Okay. It takes a while. there's in writing a book and publishing a book, there's a lag time from when your content complete and all the writing has been done to when the book is actually physically available. So, we could have all the content updated this year and still you wouldn't see the book actually physically available until next year.
Okay, great. So if there are no more questions, is there anything else you would like to share with us? I mean, what would you think is the most important change that you see in the 2018? Just in one word or a phrase. What's the most important change that you see? It's modern, it's better.
It's tighter, it's more modern, and it's more relevant to people's day-to-day jobs than ever. That's what I would say.
Great. So thank you everyone who has been there listening to us. We will have this information available. We are recording this webinar, so you can actually see it again. If you have any questions or doubts, we are also available to answer them. And again, I want to thank you, Rex Black, for being here and sharing his time with us. And yes, that's it for us. And thank you all for being here.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.